And now let's get to the good stuff. So the individual whose story we are telling today in Scene Zero is to lay a foundation. In 2015, just before her 65th birthday, and that's a magic number because she's reaching Medicare age, Betsy Smith Johnson saw her primary care provider in Texas, who recommended she complete an Advance Directive before her upcoming annual wellness visit. She completed a paper Texas Living Will form, and the low ink code is there, by hand, and obtained the wet signatures of 2 witnesses. She then uploaded it into a patient-facing app. Betsy's Texas Living Will is shared with a national Advance Directive, Advance Care Plan, Portable Medical Order Registry, and Repository. Betsy also shared access to her document with her son Charles, her primary healthcare agent, using a patient-facing app.
So this is Lisa Nelson, also from AD Vault, and what I'm showing today is a reference implementation that simulates the national registry. And the actions that you're seeing demonstrated here will be to create and share from the utilized app that Texas Living Will. So this is a document that was created and is being shared in a CDA unstructured document form for that manually completed Texas Living Will that we just described. You can see that it has structured header information, and it has an unstructured body that holds that Texas Living Will that Betsy got signed with her healthcare agents, et cetera. So now what the reference implementation is going to do is sign that document, digitally sign it so that it will be sealed, so that it can be shared with the rest of the electronic infrastructure. And we're going to import it into the registry where it makes it available for query or for subsequent sending out. So I'll import that. And this is going to load the patient with her address in Texas available in the registry. And I'm just going to show you briefly the document. So when I'm querying myself here, but this query will show that Betsy's Texas Living Will, that document, has been loaded into the registry. And this is the set of FHIR resources that had to be generated in order to create this as a registered document. The most important one, this document reference resource, is what contains metadata that lets us know that it's a living will about Betsy, and its status is current. And this is very important for the rest of the use cases. As other documents, other versions will be loaded, you'll see that status is going to become superseded later in the story.
All right, so that was done in 2015. Fast forward to 2020, when Betsy uses a patient-facing app to create a structured digital personal advanced care plan document, and the low ink code is provided, which contains much richer context about Betsy. The PACP enables her to record her goals, preferences, and priorities for care should she have a health crisis or emergency and be unable to communicate those decisions with her medical team. Betsy's personal advanced care plan is shared with a national AD, ACP, PMO, registry, and repository. And Betsy also has the ability to share her new personal advanced care plan with Charles, as well as healthcare providers of her choosing directly from the patient-facing app. I'm going to share my screen and give you an idea of how the message appears where Betsy shared access to her personal advanced care plan with Charles, her primary healthcare agent. So she did a consumer-directed, what I called an active share. And it says, Charles, you have been selected by your family member as a contact with access. He can then access Betsy's document, provide information about himself. He will receive a secure verification code that makes sure that either his email or his mobile phone are indeed his, and then access will be granted, and that link is persistent. And we're going to share with you guys how that structured personal advanced care plan document appears.
Super. So now what I'll show next is a similar sort of process, but the document that we'll start with is a PACP, Personal Advanced Care Plan, compliant to the HL7 spec for this. And what you'll notice is that in addition to the structured header, this document has got a lot of rich content. It's a standard CDA document. It's got sections where the healthcare agent information is represented. You can see the primary healthcare agent, first alternate, some other statements, expressions of treatment wishes. All of this information inside this document is now this time represented as structured data. And what we're going to do is the same process where I'm going to digitally sign this document, and then we'll import it into the FHIR Registry Repository, which is converting the CDA data into FHIR Resources. So you have a FHIR document now stored in the registry. And I'm just going to demonstrate that if we wanted to send this document, these are the steps that you could go through to actually push the document reference and associated resources to another server that might reposit this information. And you can see here the actual FHIR resources that have to be created over on the other server that I pushed the document to. So that would be a server that has an API that supports me posting to it. But in this repository, what I wanted to show is that the document reference resource that's created. So here's your personal advanced care plan. It really holds the key to what's available on this server. Maria talked about the query options. And when someone queries for this document reference resource, they get back information that explains what kind of document is available. You can see its type, coding, using the LOINC code to see it's a personal advanced care plan. And you can also see that its status is current. It's considered a final document in terms of doc status. You can see who the patient is, the date that it's authored, etc. But then you have the attachments, which are available in a variety of different formats. So if the system that's retrieving the information prefers to receive that CDA XML structured document, there's a binary attachment that can be read to give them that format. If your preference is an ADI PACP structured body type of document, then you can pull down the binary resource that is your FHIR JSON version of that. It's really a one-stop shop for whatever format the client program is expecting. We also offer it as a JSON bundle, a FHIR document. And then you can get an active link to the composition resource, depending on what your privileges would be. Each document reference is set up with all of those different attachment options in it.
All right, so I just queried Betsy ADIs here. We can see that we have her living will and her PACP plan. We can actually go ahead and see the living will. In this case, we'll have to view the PDF. And that's exactly what Lisa showed before. And I will do the same for the care plan. And this will display all the structured data, her healthcare agents, her goals, and her thoughts. And this just shows that any provider can query her ADIs and have access to it. And back to you, Maria.
So that summer, Betsy heads to Michigan so she can spend time with her son, Charles, and his family. He suggests that she complete a Michigan Advance Directive since she will be there for a few months. Charles also urges Betsy to ensure a copy of her ADI documents are made available for query by the Michigan Health Information Exchange so that medical providers can access them if an emergency should arise. She creates a paper Michigan Advance Directive, as Charles suggests, and she then uploads it into a patient-facing app. Betsy's Michigan Advance Directive is shared with a national AD, ACP, PMO, Registry and Repository, and the National Registry and Repository makes the Texas Living Will Personal Advanced Care Plan, the structured Personal Advanced Care Plan, and the Michigan Advance Directive available for query by the Michigan Health Information Exchange. So the current version of those documents are what can be accessed by medical providers if an emergency should arise. Now, as we start to move through these scenes, I'm going to go on to scene 3, and we're then going to turn it over to our technical experts to sort of look back on scene 2 and how it moved to scene 3 instead of chopping things up. I think for context, that'll be smoother. At the end of the summer, as Betsy's health continues to decline, as it does sometimes, she makes the decision to move in with Charles's family permanently so she has their support. Over the summer, she had become very close with Charles's wife, Lisa, and decides to update her healthcare agent designations in her Michigan Advance Directive to show Charles as primary and Lisa as her backup or first alternate HCA. She also makes sure to update her address to reflect her new Michigan address because she lived in Texas. She uses a patient-facing app to upload the updated paper Michigan Advance Directive, which replaces the original version that was available. Betsy's updated Michigan Advance Directive is shared with the National AD, ACP, PMO Registry and Repository, and Betsy enables access to her updated Michigan Advance Directive with Charles and Lisa to ensure she communicates her updated information. The National Registry and Repository makes the updated Michigan Advance Directive available for query by the Michigan Health Information Exchange. So again, the current version is what can be accessed by medical providers if an emergency should arise. And now we'll turn it over to our technical experts.
Super. So now we're going to look at a two-step process so that you can witness the update. So we'll create the Michigan Advance Directive and then we'll update it to do the two scenes back to back. So I'm going to go import this version 1 of the Michigan Directive. And this is another paper document. So we've got the unstructured document, which I can still digitally sign as a data object, and then import that into the registry. And we'll go take a look at the documents that have accumulated for Betsy so far. If you're remembering back over the whole story, so far we're up to 3 different documents that she's got currently out there. She's got the Michigan Directive, which she just made. And this was in the point in the story where she starts to visit in Michigan. She had that personal advanced care plan that she put together back when she was living in Texas and her Texas living will. As the story progressed and as life progresses, stuff changes for people. So now I'm going to import a new version of the Michigan Directive with the updated patient address and new healthcare agent assignments. And my system is, when I go to import this, it's just going to queue me because it's got the new address just to make sure that we recognize that that patient is moving. So just a little safety check in there. And now you should be able to see, that Betsy now has 4 documents in the registry, but the Michigan Directive, you can see the current one is the second version. That's what's current. And that's what Vanessa's system will retrieve as an EHR if they only wanted to receive current documents. Superseded now is the earlier first version of the Michigan Directive. So the registry keeps a history of the story of the documents that have been there over time, but it keeps updating the status so that systems will be able to retrieve only the current information when it's needed.
Okay, so here we see the updated address for Betsy. We are going ahead to query her ADIs again. So this first query will just show all her ADIs, and then I'll have to make another query for the current one. So we can see her Texas liver will, her personal advanced care plan and the 2 version for her Michigan advanced directives. So I'm going to filter that to just show the current one. And we can see the 3 advanced directives that are current. And with the current one, we can also see the structured data in the document. And that will display her Michigan one.
In scene 4, as a part of Betsy's decision to reside in Michigan permanently with Charles's family, she locates a new primary care physician close to home. Betsy's new primary care physician, Dr. Anita Chu, and Betsy have their initial visit in late 2020. Dr. Chu's practitioner-facing app queries the National Registry and Repository to retrieve all of Betsy's current documents, which is her Texas Living Will, her updated Michigan Advance Directive, and her existing Personal Advance Care Plan documents. Dr. Chu recommends that all of Betsy's ADI documents, not just the paper Michigan Advance Directive that she just uploaded, reflect her new address and her healthcare agent choices. Betsy uses a patient-facing app to update the structured digital Personal Advance Care Plan, and the updated Personal Advance Care Plan replaces the prior version. And she also voids and revokes the Texas Living Will since she now lives in Michigan. She doesn't need it anymore. Betsy's updated Personal Advance Care Plan and revoked Texas Living Will are shared with a National Advance Directive, Advance Care Plan, Portable Medical Order Registry and Repository. And the Registry and Repository records the revocation, thereby removing that document from Betsy's active current documents as a part of making the updated Advance Directive information available for query by the Michigan Health Information Exchange. So the current version is what can be accessed by medical providers if an emergency should arise.
I am going to just really demonstrate change in motion here as these documents have been being updated as Betsy's life situation has changed. And so there were 2 documents that were in flux here. We need to update the Personal Advance Care Plan with a new address. So I'm just going to bring that new version of the PACP here, load that up. And again, you'll see this is structured data. That's the big difference with this document. But the important thing is that the registry is handling the versioning, and Betsy's set of documents always has the status updated so that if the system is queried, it's easy to distinguish current documents from documents that have been superseded. So now you can see the second version of this Personal Advance Care Plan document. I'll just open it for you just to demonstrate that you can see that Betsy's address got updated to the Michigan, and in this document, that is her Michigan address that's now recorded there. One of the things that I wanted to demonstrate about the Texas Living Will being revoked, this is a use case that was a new use case for us this time, is that when I go to revoke this document, we don't currently have an acceptable code in the FHIR value set for document status to really show the status that we would like of being revoked, which would be canceled. And so right now you're going to see this as a superseded document. And I'll show you the CDA status that's changed. And then Vanessa, you're going to patch it for me with our ideal code for now. Okay, so this is a little bit of a technical issue that we're having to work through for our IG. So right now, to cancel the Texas Living Will under FHIR R4, we're superseding the previous version. And the current version now I'll just show it to you in XML. It doesn't have a proper canceled status in the registry, but the document itself, if it was retrieved, because it is the current one, the document itself carries an extension SDTC status code of canceled. So the hospital would still be able to understand that that was now a canceled or revoked directive.
All right, so here we see the two living wills. So what I'm going to do is to go ahead and revoke this one. So this will actually change the doc status into entered error because we don't have like the right code for a revoked will. So I'll go ahead and revoke it. Just double check if I want to revoke that. And again, what you do in the background is just to change the doc status into entered in error. And right here, we can see the change. The doc status is entered in error. The status will still be current, but the system understands that with these two codes, it means that the will has been revoked. We can see the date there. The first will was in 2015, and the second one is December 2020.
Perfect. So Betsy enjoys her life with Charles's family in Michigan, but she is more and more aware that the relocation and the cold winter in Michigan has been super hard on her health. In early 2020, Betsy decides she wants to take a palliative approach to her medical interventions, and she meets with Dr. Chu, her primary care physician, to discuss her decisions and how they should be reflected in her advance directive information. They both discuss her preference for not receiving extraordinary measures should she experience a severe health crisis or emergency. During Betsy's appointment with Dr. Chu, they create a portable medical order that can be made available to hospital personnel who would use it to inform care during a crisis. The new portable medical order, a national POST model form, is shared with the National Registry and Repository. Betsy enables access to her new portable medical order with Charles and Lisa to ensure they understand her decisions. The National Registry and Repository makes the newly created structured portable medical order available for query by the Michigan Health Information Exchange so it can be accessed by medical providers if an emergency should arise.
All right, so we have one last document to load here for the story, and this is going to be a portable medical order. We're starting from a CDA-based portable medical order. It's a structured document. Give you a quick look at that. And it has two sections in it, some portable medical orders and some completion information, signature, the sign off by the physician and the patient. And this can easily be created in the registry. Quick API call to sign and load. Okay, so now we should have the full stories line full of documents in the registry. We have got that e-POST form, it's a current document. We have the revoked Texas will, the superseded version of that was the original document. We have her current personal advanced care plan, along with that superseded version, and the Michigan Advance Directive, two versions of that. One is current and the other one is superseded. And this is what would be available for systems to query.
We've made reference to a patient-facing app that Betsy uses, and I thought that it would be important to just sort of show not only can entities who would query and retrieve from the National Registry and Repository see the active current documents, but I also wanted to show in that patient-facing app, Betsy has a very simplified view. There's her personal advanced care plan, the most recent copy. There is the brand new portable medical order form that was created by her practitioner and yet is available in her patient-facing app. There is the most recent copy, the Michigan Advance Directive, and I did not revoke the Texas Living Will out of this view, or else our technical people wouldn't have been able to do their job. So I thought that might be helpful and impactful. So Betsy is very excited to receive her new digital insurance card. She can now reveal her digital insurance card in the Wallet app on her phone to a healthcare provider. It easily and efficiently enables access to her coverage and benefits. And when the QR code on the digital insurance card is scanned, it also reveals her Advance Directive interoperable documents. Betsy is at home one day and begins to feel very dizzy and disoriented. Charles calls 911. The responding paramedic assesses Betsy and believes that she has acquired a serious UTI and notes that she meets criteria for a severe infection. Charles tells the paramedic that Betsy has a portable medical order requesting she not be transferred or sent to a hospital. And in his role as her primary healthcare agent, he accesses Betsy's digital insurance card and has the paramedic scan the QR code so that access to Betsy's portable medical order is enabled. The paramedic reviews Betsy's PMO and reassures Charles that the PMO specifically states Betsy wants to be transported to the hospital only if her care cannot be delivered effectively in the home. Charles now understands that this is not against Betsy's wishes, and that Betsy's experiencing the symptoms of a severe infection that can best be treated and stabilized in a hospital, after which she can return home. Betsy is taken to the emergency department where the Michigan Health Information Exchange is queried, retrieves her portable medical order information, and the care team is able to honor Betsy's goals of care.
So my name's Logan, and I will be showing the digital insurance card part. So right here, we'll see that this is how you, get the digital insurance card. So you would enter her details in for the member matching part, verify that it's you. So you would go to your email and do the one-time passcode. Once you're verified, you can view the card. And right here's your insurance card. You know, you have a button to add to Google Wallet in case you're on your mobile and you just press that button. But in case you're not on your mobile and you are on the computer like I am, I'll stop sharing my screen and I'll show you how to do it from your phone. Now, if you have a QR code app, you would scan this QR code right here. And it'll pop up with the URL to add to Google Wallet. So you press that, and it would add it. You open your wallet, verify that it's you. And right here, verify it's you again. Now right here would be the digital insurance card with the QR code to access her PMOs. Because we don't have 7 phones around to scan the QR code, I'm going to show you guys, you can still get it right here. And here's the portable medical order on her phone in a PDF document an EMS agent could read. Another thing, though, is if there's a security risk with her son having to access her phone using her passwords, right? And so we know that her son has access to all of her medical records. So one other thing that we can do is, now we can't really show it in a proof of concept, but say that this is actually her son's account that can access her digital insurance card and everything like that. Here we are in the son's account, accessing his mom's insurance card. If you click right here, we can still show the portable medical order with the all the information for his mom. And that's, again, so we don't have to use her passwords without her using it, and her son can use his passwords. Now, if they need all of the medical information that we've talked about in the previous scenes, we can actually show all of those documents as well. And again, this takes out having to use her without using her passwords, without her knowledge, everything like that. And so that's just also another way that the digital insurance card could be of use.
All right, super. I am also trying to show the access that Charles was granted to the portable medical order if we did not have a digital insurance card, to give you yet another scenario where Betsy's wishes can be honored. So this is actually Charles's view of Betsy's information. Behind the scenes, I already processed the verification code. You can see the various versions. Charles could have actually made all of this available to the paramedic that was responding. So all of her information is here, the portable medical order, whatever it is that needed to be accessed could have been accessed here. So I thought that would be helpful.